Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Ladies of Sosa podcast. My name is Sahra.
And my name is Christine.
And today, first and foremost, it's been a while. It feels like it's been a while since we've been back in the studio. So we're excited to be here and excited to finally have a topic to discuss with you guys. We went on vacation for Christine's birthday, so we will get into that. But we're going to go ahead and introduce the panel. We'll start with Vaida. Go ahead.
Hey, everyone. It's Vaida. Again.
Period. David, my brother David is back on the panel. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. This is David Benjamin. It's good to be back. Thank you, ladies of Sosa, for having me again.
Of course. Are you nervous?
No.
No, you ready? Okay, cool. All right, Emanuel, go ahead.
Emanuel, the least funny comedian for now because I'm feeling.
Oh my God, we have to get into that.
Oh, we do have to get into that. Okay, so before we actually get into the topic,
Willy? I hear and Willy.
Look who it is.
Right on time.
All right.
Have a seat at Fuddle.
This is not the most South Sudanese
I know.
thing. Wow, Willy.
That's pretty cool how he came in right on time.
Willy.
Right on cue for your introduction.
Hello, everyone. My name is Willy. Glad to be back.
Dallas traffic, huh?
Yeah.
Mixed with the mix of South Sudanese time. So a little bit of
No, but
both.
Willy's usually on
But usually
time.
I'm here
Today's opposite day because
So,
I was
like,
here
you guys
first today.
gotta
So that
give me a
was
break
different.
for once.
You're right.
I'm late, you know?
You're right. But I'm usually
today I was the first one. So I just want to point that out because he always
right. Who's always
I know, usually
late?
I'm here.
Emmanuel?
All of
First
us.
person here.
Yeah.
pretty much.
Emanuel is crazy because you
I know.
be twins.
Right.
But you know what? Speaking of Emanuel.
Let's talk about it.
Okay, so we missed Emanuel's latest show, and Vaida was able to attend, so we'll get the scoop from her on how it went.
I don't know. Emmanuel bombed, and he'll tell you that he bombs. Okay, it didn't have a flow, you know? I feel like the audience, it wasn't supportive of his growth. Let me say that.
Oh.
And it was kind of
What do you mean by that?
the audience, I feel like he started failing and the audience supported his downfall.
Oh no!
Were they like laughing?
No, but there was a group of hecklers.
Oh
and
my
they
gosh. Were you sweating, Emmanuel? Because you was sweating last time.
He wasn't sweating this time.
Oh, okay.
I think that's the problem.
I think that's what he needed. He needed the sweat.
You need to bring
The
back the
sweat is what
The
brings
sweat.
out the funny.
Were you wearing your cowboy boots?
No.
See, that's the problem. You should have wore your cowboy boots. That's your good luck charm. Those are your good.
Where's Tarek right now? You know what? I feel like Tarek put juju on you. Because last time he said that you were going to bomb. So I feel like he gave you the evil eye. We're going to blame Tarek.
Right,
Since
he's not here.
today.
Right,
Yeah.
But you did so good. Like the time when we all went to support you, you did really. It was great.
Okay, so tell us what happened from your perspective.
First off, let me talk about you did a bad bomb when somebody else is like, man, you did so good the first one. But it just something
What
about
happened?
the
What
end.
happened?
But here's the thing. We'll pretend it was a bomb. It was genuinely a bomb, but it was one of my most fun bombs. I haven't had more fun on a bomb like that than any other bomb because it was so have you ever just been awkwardly funny around people? And like when you have African American women around and they're just like, it's all good, baby.
Oh,
We got your back.
Oh, yes.
Oh, so was the crowd African American?
No, it was not.
It was everybody.
But there was a group of 3 African American women on the right side that they came in and they said, let me help you out.
They took over. They took
African
over the show.
Americans are very
were funny.
supportive.
And they're very honest, brutally honest.
Brutally
so
honest.
the fact that they were
Yeah.
trying to uplift
Help.
him
Yeah.
shows that he sucked.
Yes.
But there's
Only that
room
night.
for improvement.
Yes.
Is there a clip of this?
I think it's because Sarah said that. Do you just
I want to see
like
this.
He just
vibe?
he just wings it.
He wings it.
Yeah, and sometimes I feel like sometimes that can do well for you, but other times it's like you have to be more prepared. So I'm just.
But
like,
we know he's funny.
I know
so.
I know you're funny, but it's like when you go in front of a crowd, there's so many factors, your nerves, getting distracted. So just maybe having your jokes prepared a little bit could help with that. But I'm not a comedian.
What is your process?
I'm not a
Emmanuel?
comedian.
Like, what is your process before a show to prepare?
Okay, so after getting torn up by the ladies of Sosa,
Not us critiquing.
This is constructive criticism.
Right.
Very constructive.
I will genuinely say, like, the reason why this show did the way that it did, it was my fault. But I really can't be mad at it because it was one of those lessons that I needed to learn. It was one of those situations where I'm gonna look back at it and I'll be like, thank God that happened.
Right.
Because it humbled the fuck out of me. You ever get humbled so quick? Because I've been like, I've been good at comedy. I've never needed to prepare. I know my bits. I know everything. I just can go in there and I'll decide which bits I believe work the best. And then if I forget a bit, I can make one up at the moment. Guess what? The ones that I made up that day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, so you forgot.
So you think it was a joke choice?
Oh yeah. It was definitely a joke choice. I think a couple of the ones that I could have done was when I first went into the first LGBTQ club that I went to. I think that one would have worked that night at the club. There was a couple other ones where I was just like, Grandma one would have worked if people loved me a little bit more.
So you have your stuff memorized.
So like I have a lot of the things memorized. It's just trigger points for me, and like 99% of it was just like it was my fault. It was really my fault. Not studying the crowd a little bit more, and honestly not pushing myself to try something more abstract and a little bit more fun.
I thought that was like rule number 1: know your audience.
Yes, it is.
Do you agree
but
with
why
that,
would you say
Vaida?
that to me right now as I'm being vulnerable?
I'm just saying.
Thank you, Willy.
No, we love you, Emanuel. We know you're
also,
funny.
this whole narrative started with Willy, so I'm not even gonna pretend like the ladies started this narrative about.
No, I did tell him last time
when
like
we came and saw you.
Like
Willy
you gotta write it down. I mean, you can't just.
Yeah.
I think it's. I wouldn't be able to do it if I just went up there and I'm like.
Yeah.
But if I prepared, like I'm gonna do this, and this,
yeah,
then
that
you'd
saves
be like,
you when you
yeah.
But
Then my
freak out
mind
or
is
go
not
blank,
all over the place.
But to be fair, even if I wrote it down, I would still probably bomb because I'm just not meant to do stand up. So I understand that's still a lot of pressure and a lot of work.
Yeah.
So
I think even though you're funny
terrifying.
and talented, I think that's where the preparation comes in. Because like even the greatest, funniest people, you are gonna have those days. So you need something to fall back on. But like we know you're funny, you're talented. Like we obviously know this is just gonna be something you're gonna bounce back, bro. We're just giving you a hard time
because we love you.
So.
I've never been more humbled on a podcast in my fucking life.
Well, thankfully
No, we
don't.
love you.
Thankfully, we don't have the clips because Vaida didn't record.
I didn't have
so we'll just
storage,
keep
so-
it
Oh no,
at that.
bro had a clip on his Instagram.
Oh, really?
but
Share
thank
that.
you,
I would
God, that
love
shit
to-
was
Oh, just include it
yeah,
in the
go ahead and
episode
send it to
for
ladies of
context.
gmail.com.
Y'all not getting any.
You guys have an email?
Please, Emanuel, the audience needs to have context.
They don't need to know.
But no, honestly, Emmanuel, I think that's beautiful for you to be honest and vulnerable because not everybody's gonna have sometimes we don't have perfect hosting.
Everyone takes
episodes.
L's. Everyone
you know?
takes L's. So
I mean, we took an L on that one episode. Remember?
a lot of episodes.
Yes,
A
where
lot.
people were like, "Are y'all okay? Like, where was the topic?
Yeah.
Y'all
I
were
feel
just
like
never
today
what was the
we're
plot?
getting back into it.
Right,
So.
right. So, we love you, Emmanuel. Big shout out to you.
I love you too. I love how the icebreaker.
The funniest
is
South
like,
Sudanese
Look at the
guy
good
I
side,
know.
right?
Look at the good side. Look at the bad side of it.
At least they didn't throw objects on stage, right?
Or tomatoes.
Oh no, I did have a situation where somebody tried to throw hands with me.
Oh, you were that
Yeah,
bad.
no.
They wanted to
So for
bite
me,
you.
that's not my worst bomb. But like there are certain bombs in your life
He
you gotta
invoked
know where you're
anger.
at. That was one of those bombs where it like literally went at my
Rage.
comedy, not went at my my blackness. There's been like certain situations where he was just racist, right?
Just racist.
Well, hey,
Well-
let us know when the next show is
Yes.
so we can see this in person. Just
Actually, in the future,
Yeah.
upcoming weeks, we are going to have you and maybe a few of your other comedians
Your
on here
colleagues.
to do something
Oh
special.
no, because I will have the ladies of Sosa on comedy with us, so we will be starting to do some South Sudanese situational comedy situations.
He's going to roast us.
Oh my gosh,
No.
I'm so scared.
But they're definitely gonna be aunties and moms. So we'll
He
have
wants
fun
to make
with
us aunties so bad.
I know, but okay. Well, thank you for sharing that story, and thanks for letting us know, Vaida. 'Cause-
Of course.
because it was so much fun. Because like I've never had more fun bombing, because everybody around me was like such good people. Like at the end of the night, it ended. The night ended so much fun and like clarity that I was like, I enjoyed that night. It was
Even
a
LeBron
good night. for
has
me.
bad nights. The best of the best.
Yeah.
Everyone
Also, the
has.
women that
Yeah.
like said that supported me. I mean, they ended up twerking on me at the end of the night. So
Okay.
A win is a win.
was it a bad night?
A win is a win. Period. Well, all right. So we're gonna go ahead and get back into the topic.
We have an icebreaker from Emmanuel.
Oh, let's go
Yeah,
ahead.
Let's
hear
do
it.
let's do the
the icebreaker,
icebreakers.
please.
So recently, I've been on like an HBCU channel on Twitter, and they have a couple of questions that they wanted to ask. It's a website where the HBCU students will talk about anonymous situations. They'll just let it out, and I want people's opinions on it. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
My short ass was with a tall girl who picked me up and choke slammed me. I felt like a bitch. But going back to the crib today, I'm going back to her tonight. And they said anonymous.
So what are we supposed to do?
What are we supposed to do with that information?
How do you Amazonian Sudanese women feel about dating shorter men?
Amazonian is wild.
First of all, Sarah's short.
We're all pretty. I'm like we're not tall.
I'm 5'5".
I'm
for the
5'8",
viewers.
so I guess I'm
okay.
I'm
well,
average.
for South Sudanese. I'm not tall.
Well, I thought you said you were 5'9". Like
No, I was 5'8".
But how tall are you?
I'm 5'6".
Yeah, so we're average to tall.
I think I'm tall.
Okay, I would say that's
Okay,
tall.
how
do we feel about dating younger men? I mean,
Or
sorry, shorter
shorter.
men. We don't.
Wait, tell me, that is a good translate. How do you feel about dating younger men? Because as a younger man who loves himself an older woman,
Yeah.
how do you feel about dating younger men?
Christine, why would you?
I don't.
Wow.
I mean,
Do you date younger men? Have
I
you?
don't. But I feel like the younger one's been applying a lot of pressure lately.
Mm.
That's how you know you're getting older. But I feel like naturally girls mature quicker than guys. So growing up, obviously you're gonna date like older guys.
Yeah.
But I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Yeah. Not
Yeah.
too young though. Maybe
Yeah,
like
not like
What's too young for
Drea
y'all?
and
Drea
her
and
situation.
Jalen Green.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's 20 years. I'm talking about within the
that's too much.
5-10 year period.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's okay.
I think 2-3 years.
2,
is
3.
okay.
I think even 5. I think 20. I think
Yes.
25 to 30 is okay.
I think the older you get, the more lenient. Because when you're older, it's a little bit more reasonable. Because you know you guys are later in life
Mhm.
versus like your 20s.
20s.
There's like a big gap.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Wait, y'all
Maturity.
think there's a genuinely big gap between your 20s than it is compared to like your 30s to your 20s?
I think men
Oh,
in their
yeah.
30s are in a different headspace than they are in their 20s.
They're in a bigger financial space, but them old dudes the same way. Ain't that right, my brother?
Go ahead,
I hate
David.
Emanuel.
What are you trying to say? What are you trying to
I
say?
love my brother David. My brother David is an
That
OG. He's
transition
a
was
real
crazy.
one. But I feel like
Perfect.
I feel like me and David, if we went on a 2-man, we'd be able to just have a conversation the same way.
Break down the
That's
2-man
true.
for our elder South Sudanese viewers.
A 2-man is like if me and him were trying to get at a specific group of women, we would be able to assist each other in conversating and assisting each other at getting with these women.
Because y'all are in a similar stage in life, like phase in life, or
I
why?
wouldn't even say we're
I
in a
think a
similar.
2-man is just general, like any two guys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's just like for me, I've been in a 2-man with a 50-year-old, and we both still got what we wanted.
You were too free sharing.
My bad.
So I was gonna ask you if you would date an older woman. So I guess that
that's my preference. I'd be damned if I'm gonna date a woman that's like the bear or the what's called conversation.
What is it about like a 50-year-old woman when you're in your 20s?
Well, why you got to go for?
Because I mean you brought it up, so let's dissect
okay. So
this.
what is it for?
That's a mature woman. That's not even an older woman.
That's a woman that will discuss.
I think we have
I was
ulterior
thinking-
motives.
I was
It's
thinking
giving
35 or 40.
life insurance, huh?
I was thinking 35 or 40.
Yeah, he
'Cause
said 50.
50 is crazy.
It's sugar mama status.
But
Yeah.
here's the thing: 35 or 40 is still the same conversation. It's like they have a honest view of a generation that I wasn't a part of, and it's super dope to just have that conversation about like what it was like in that era. I can't get a complete view of it, but it's like fun because like you telling me about what it was like in the 90s as an adult and in the early 2000s as an adult, or even in the 80s as an adult, it's like that's dope.
But why should dating be a history lesson? You know what I mean? Like you're trying to get to know someone to see if you're compatible. I don't know. You can learn that from reading a book.
All of dating is a history lesson because you're learning about their history.
Okay, that is true.
nice spin, nice.
That was
Nice
nice
spin on
spin.
it.
That was
Right.
the comedy show one like that. I'm
Oh,
joking.
yeah.
I'll never let
God,
that
was
Damn.
too
You got
good.
people that we're
was
not
too
even
good.
funny.
Should we call this the Emanuel Roast? We should just name this episode Emanuel Roast.
Yeah, at this point, because
She's the only witness.
oh
It's
man,
all love.
She's the only
It's
witness.
all
She's the
love.
only witness.
Lucky
Emmanuel.
there was not
That's
a
why
lot
that-
more witnesses.
I don't know what it was about that specific show. I didn't want people to show up as much, but everybody was asking me to show up after I did the last
Emmanuel, I was sad that I couldn't show up. I was so sad that I couldn't show up. So should I feel better?
You shouldn't feel wet. I didn't even like that show was one of those shows where I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to this show. Okay. I thought I was gonna do what I normally do. I could half-ass something, and it just
see. That's what I'm talking about.
This is a good lesson.
Stop half-assing it because you have so much potential. You need to go all the way there.
It's not just because you're talented and funny that will just
don't just let talent carry.
There's people that are less funny than you who will work hard and surpass.
Yeah, so you that's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You're naturally funny. But
that's not enough.
I want you to prepare because
Kobe
you could just
was in a gender.
Okay, let's get back to this older conversation. Like y'all just trying to humble me.
Next question. Okay, what's your next? Let's move on.
I thought we not. Well, okay, go ahead.
Wait, y'all didn't even finish it. Like I didn't understand. So what is it for y'all that's the difference between the age gap? Because like for what y'all just said right now, okay, but how do y'all correlate that with like the elder men? So the same conversation is like, how do you feel about younger women dating older men? For our age range, right? The same age range that you're talking about. What's the difference? Because a lot of people do say that there is a double standard with that.
There is a double standard. I mean, I feel like when you get older as a woman, you realize a lot of the manipulation that went into older guys trying to talk to you that you might not have seen when you're younger. Thinking like, oh, one of the things they'll say is like, oh, you're so mature for your age. Which at that age will make you feel like, oh, wow, I am mature, but you don't see how that's like manipulating you into the situation. So I do think that goes both ways as well. Like when we talked about the Drea situation, I think that you're in different spaces in life. Like I don't understand what a 40-year-old will have in common with a 20-year-old when it comes to like day-to-day conversations. Like, you guys are just in different mental spaces. So I think there's a certain cutoff. Like I think up to 10 years to me is okay. Because I know naturally in our culture, guys will marry younger girls. Yeah. But I think there has to be a certain cutoff. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially, in our community, if we bring it back to South Sudan, I think it is normalized to date younger because that's what we do back home. Unfortunately, we have child marriage. So it's normal to like look at younger girls and be like, oh, they're marriage material. But yeah, I agree. I think there needs to be a cutoff where maturity, like where you are in life, because there's no way a 40-year-old man can be in the same predicament as a 19-year-old or a 20.
Yeah, it's a situation of like dominance in like for child marriage, like they're men wanting to see the young girl as like a dominant situation where they can overpower them. But shout out to Sierra Leone because they actually have a law in place that ends child marriage. So hopefully South Sudan can and other African countries can also join that wave because these kids, these are kids. Like at the end of the day, they should not be thinking about marriage at all. So
and I think with that too, because like men, when younger women get married to older men in our culture, it's like it works for the family, like because they're paying cows, they're paying dowry, and then they're taking this girl out of a like bad financial situation. So it's seen as like getting married is like an asset or like, something that's positive, getting married to an older man because they have money. So I think it's similar to all society, like seeing men as men who are providing and what we need men to be providers and like be in a certain status for us to be with them. Our culture just kind of takes it to a different level with the child marriage. So I think it's all kind of similar to every society when it comes to like normalizing dating younger women. Because you know how people always say like with the Drea thing, they're like, if this was a man doing it, nobody would even say anything. Because it is normal. We do see it as normal for younger women to date older men, but when Drea did it, it's like it's uncomfortable for us because it just seems like
predatory.
Yes. So I don't know. There's something to be said.
I think the real conversation with the Drea conversation is like a lot of people view it from the lens of capitalism, which is like he was a younger man who had more money than the older woman. So for a lot of people, it looks like a flip of the power dynamic to an extreme, because normally when it comes to like younger women dating older men, it's like the older man has the money also. So it's a different flip to it that like,
but
for capitalism
doesn't she also have a kid around the same age or something?
Yeah.
I think that factors into it as well because I mean I'm sure their kids are not enjoying any of that. Yeah,
It's embarrassing for them.
If when you have men or women, like if you're dating somebody who's around your daughter's age or younger than your daughter, it's just it becomes
uncomfortable.
like it just becomes something bigger in itself, and it affects everybody around you. It's humiliating for your children as well.
It is.
So I think that factors into
Imagine
it.
your parents having a kid, like a newborn baby right now.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that would invoke, I would be angry.
Yeah.
Because why?
Yeah. But I agree with Emanuel because he has money. The guy has money. So that's kind of like the standard that we place on men anyways.
There's
like
a video
having
though.
a lot of money and, you know, being
Did
the
you
provider.
see that video of them when they were like walking down the street in California and she was pushing the stroller and holding the bag and like struggling and he was just
Oh my
walking, swinging his
gosh.
arms.
Yeah,
I'm going to insert the video.
What do you have to say to a lot of people that have anything negative to say about you guys' relationship?
We try to stay off the internet and not really listen to that kind of stuff.
We also don't care.
You also don't care. Okay, so for you, you don't care. Okay. You just try not to listen to it.
Yeah, we block it out and we mind our business.
No, I mean, you look amazing. You look like you guys are practically the same age. So is it shocking to you that people have a problem with the age gap, being that you look amazing?
No, I mean, I don't know what people's problem is. Two adults being in love, you know, I don't know why that would rub people the wrong way. It's kind of weird. Love is love at the end of the day.
And you could see in that video his lack of maturity. Like he's just
That's
a
not
boy.
a man.
He's just a boy who's a millionaire.
Yeah, but people will say, well, he's a millionaire and he could take care of her, and that's the standard that we placed men in. Like,
as
but
far
it's
as the way he was carrying himself.
Yeah, like the dynamic was
Yes.
like a child following the mom.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, like it wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
It
Weird.
wasn't
like
a man and a woman
like,
together.
Even the fact she was carrying all that stuff while pushing the stroller. And she
Yeah, it's
even
like he
walked into
it's like he didn't even
traffic.
think.
The light was
Yeah, I
green.
didn't think like
Like they were.
Just for a second, we're infantilizing a like 22, 23-year-old man, right? We're making him seem younger than he is. That's kind of coddling him, right? In a strange way, because we don't coddle women at the same age. So like we gotta have to ask the conversation of why don't we look at these young girls who are with these grown ass men the same way? Like a young girl that's 21 with a 50-year-old man, or with a Leonardo DiCaprio or anybody else, and we don't actually analyze it the same way. Like we don't say, "Hey, this girl acts like a younger girl. It's like she acts like a girl of her age." That should tell you where the societal views are.
But what can we actually do? These are two consenting individuals. I feel like at a certain point, we can analyze and do all the things we can do, but these are two adults who made a decision to be together. And I think at a certain point, you have to look at things like they both want something. Maybe Drea wants security and he wants a bad, a baddie.
Yeah.
So they're both getting what they want at the end of the day, and they're two consenting adults. Hopefully, by the time they're 25, the prefrontal cortex develops. And then they have a different mindset. And they're like, oh, wait a minute. I'm in a different place in life than I used to be. And now I want different things. And that's okay for them to make whatever decision they want to.
And I'm going to say this even in a better place is like sometimes you develop that prefrontal cortex and you realize that person that everybody was saying was a bad person was literally the best thing to help you to get to where you needed to be. So this is going to sound really crazy, but like as a younger man who has dated older women, there have been times where I was in that relationship that I learned a lot of things and they guided me in ways that if they were really opportunistic and were really predatory, they could have easily flipped it in another way to where they could have had me forever. But I learned from that, and it made me realize that, like, hold up, they're actually a good person, and this was just a fun fling for them, and I learned what the fuck I needed to learn.
Yeah, it's true.
I want to touch on that because you said something earlier, but it's a double standard thing because I think that we need to start holding women accountable as well because it's still predatory. I think men look at it a different way when they remember situations where an older woman kind of has groomed them. I don't think they look at it the same as if it was like a young girl with the older guy. But I think that women need to start being held accountable too because like with Dre's situation, I think it's the same thing that men do with the whole mental manipulation to where someone has lived way more than you, has more life experience. So they kind of know where you're at mentally and know how to kind of manipulate and play with your mind to make you look at things a certain way when you're that age, to where anyone who would try to come in between that, you would kind of like be defensive. So I think that we do need to call out women too. I think it's a double standard thing, but I think men and women, same thing. Like all these teachers that have been getting caught up for like, you know, sleeping with their students and having sexual relationships with students, like that's been happening. I think that just in the past, people never looked at women as like predators.
But here's the thing: it's like the women do call. They do call.
Yeah,
it
women
out.
do.
Because, like, for example, Aaron Taylor Johnson. Y'all have heard of Aaron Taylor Johnson? The white dude from Bullet Train. I'll send you a picture of him. But he was an actor who he met the person before he was of age, and then he did a film with her, and later on in life they ended up dating, have kids, and now they're together. And I think he's like 30 something, and she's like in her mid 40s to early 50s, and they've been together forever. They've had 2 children together. And every single time people talk about him, they're always like, especially women, they always talk about him and it's like, he doesn't deserve to be with that old witch, etc., etc., because they say, oh, she groomed him. So the women do that, but it just has to be, the man has to be attractive
in society.
But I do agree with you that like, at least for my experience, usually in those type of dynamics, you will have the woman actually like give you some good advice on life and stuff, like some good career advice or some good just advice in general. So I can kind of understand that, like in a way that maybe a younger woman would not be able to.
Like a mentor, right?
Yeah, exactly, like a mentor. Perfect. Like a mentor in a way that maybe a younger girl would not be able to. Instead of the other way where dating a younger woman or even your peer in women look up to you instead.
Yeah, you have to
for you to have all the answers on everything. So it's kind of hard to kind of like maybe even open up to them because you don't want them to know about your struggles or know about the things that you're going through. But on the other hand, if it's an older woman, you can actually do that and they'll actually give you some honest, good advice. And maybe not judge you on it, or maybe you don't even care about it, because most of the time I think a guy, at least in my experience, you know that I think both people in the party understand that this is not gonna be forever. You know, it's just temporarily.
So is that normal or unhealthy?
No, I don't think it's as unhealthy as they say.
I wouldn't call it unhealthy. I think I'm talking about it when it comes to adults.
Okay,
you know?
That's good.
Like let's say a 25-year-old and a 35-year-old, or a 30-year-old.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Yeah,
a 30-year-old and a 40-year-old.
Yeah.
I feel like those dynamics might not be. I don't think it's necessarily unhealthy. I think it's good, but most of the time, everybody understands what society will feel about it. So both people are keeping it a secret, and they understand eventually we're gonna have to cut this off. So. But within that period of time, I think everybody's getting what they want.
Right.
Honestly, I think those might be genuinely more quote unquote relationships that by the standard of 2024 make sense, because now there's no power dynamic. There's no, oh man, woman conversation. There's just 2 genuine people being able to lean on each other for certain things and being able to like support each other, because she knows she's still a woman in society, and you know you're younger than her, so she's observed things that you've never observed before, and that relationship might be more beneficial than any other kind of relationship, like for that time period. But what sucks is people's opinions will break that shit.
And I would think maybe even a lot more of an honest relationship, because nobody has to gain anything by lying to the other in that situation.
Well.
Right?
I think it's the same when you flip it too for the other sex, as far as like why younger women might date older men, because the mentorship, able to help you out more in life. Like I think it goes both ways.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just complicated.
You don't think an older man has more of a basis to lie to a younger woman?
Yeah.
He can lie, but I think that he can also change a younger woman's life in a way that a guy her age cannot. And provide opportunities and stability that someone her age or younger could not. So I think it's kind of the same both ways.
So leading it back to the Drea situation, which makes even more sense now. him being with a younger woman who that in that ideal, though both of them being younger, getting together at that time period where he's an NBA star, et cetera, et cetera. Now he's with a younger woman. They don't have the same wisdom. And now they're just young people who are with each other, who have all the temptations of the world, because he brings her to an NBA world and she's the most attractive woman. Bam. And now he's the most attractive man.
Maybe
bam.
she's giving him advice about investing his money.
That's what I was thinking.
You know,
I feel like maybe they're getting something, like
he's
she's
not out
getting
there,
financial
like, spending...
stability, and he's clearly getting something out of it.
I feel like
we don't know, but like
I feel like I think with her, their dynamic, what he likes, because she's older, she's been in the game for a while, and she still looks beautiful, she still looks great. So it comes off like, oh, she's beautiful and she has her stuff together. I don't have to take care of her. I don't have to, like, you know, because with the younger 21-year-old girl, Instagram girl, you're the one who's gonna be pouring into her. But with Drea, she's already has her own business going. She's been doing the Instagram thing for a while, so she already has money, you know. So it comes off like, oh, she has her own. And so I get the best of both worlds. I get the beautiful girl, but also a girl that's already established within herself. So I think that's how she's playing it. Like, look, I look just as good as these 21-year-old girls, but I also have more like motion, and you don't have to do anything for me, you know. But wait,
he's definitely doing stuff for her. I think it's a mental thing.
Security though.
I think
years,
mentally,
after 18
she's
years,
in a different place than all of those other young girls.
Exactly.
So she's able
off,
to like tap into something that is different that he's not going to get from other
so
girls.
it comes off like she's doing her thing. Like,
come
you know?
on now, she's not with him just like, she's getting something out of it.
But
but her to have a baby as well, because they took it as far as like having a kid. She's set for
that's what I'm saying. But if she's doing so well and doing so well for herself, she would be with a man like an NBA guy that's her age group.
But maybe she's not. Maybe that's the one she's able to pull. Like,
that's predatory.
That's the predatory part.
Yeah,
exactly. That's the part.
Mine
These
isn't
girls
fully
are
developed
smart.
yet.
Like they understand the game. She's been in the game for a long time.
She's playing him into thinking like, I got my stuff together. I'm not a gold digger because I already have money.
And I think people attacking their relationship makes them even like closer.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, like for him, it's like everyone has all this stuff to say. I'm going to double down on my decision because, like, you know.
Yeah, they're hating.
Exactly.
Haters.
Nothing brings people like together more than having a common enemy.
Yeah. What's the age difference? He's like,
it's almost 20 years. She's like 39 and he's like 21 or 22.
That is insane.
And that's like, it's not even just the age; it's where they are. He's 20. He's literally just now getting into adulthood.
She's been in the industry.
Yeah.
Like, what do they talk about? I'm just curious. Like, what do y'all really like? What do y'all have in common? What are the conversations like?
Yeah. It's
none of my business. But I'm curious.
Yeah, he's 21 and she
21 is crazy.
38, 39.
Yeah, they're both consenting adults. There's nothing like
that
illegal
is true
about it. But I can understand why people are like, this is not right, because it's really not. And if you really think about it, like her son is almost the same age as him. So you birth a child the same age as a guy that you're also having a child with. That's, I don't know. That's uncomfortable.
And I feel like that's probably why she went for him, because he's younger and she's able to, I don't say manipulate more, but
no, it is manipulation for sure.
But going back to Emmanuel's question. Does it make you the same level of uncomfortableness when it's the other way around?
Yes,
for sure.
If it was a 21-year-old girl and a 39-year-old man, I think we're used to seeing that more though in society. I feel like we don't see this as much.
Yeah, to me personally, I think it's still uncomfortable. But I think men are the one. I think women call it out either, like, no matter what side. But I think men are the ones who are like, oh, who cares? He's an adult. He's grown. He can do. He can do what he wants.
I don't know about that. There's a lot of young women who encourage younger women to go for older men.
Yeah,
so
but not
they're
that
like,
much older. I think
sprinkle.
Shout out to Shira.
Oh, 7. I just see her little clips. I don't know what she talks about. What does she be talking about?
Yeah, she encourages women to date hypergamously. So
protectors and providers.
Date someone who's doing better than you. It doesn't necessarily have to do with age, but at the same time, most of the time they're going to be older than you, if not way older.
Stay-at-home mother.
Yeah.
So that's not bad.
I think it's the delivery though. I think maybe people are caught up on the delivery of it, because I feel like a lot of people would agree with her, but
it's the way.
delivery.
I agree
No,
with
but
her.
she comes with the same energy as Kevin Samuels, so they don't like that.
Right.
She's like the other. She's like the
Yeah,
female.
but she's been doing it a long time. She's been doing it a
whoa.
long time.
Well, her and Kevin Samuels would agree on a lot of things. Ironically,
They would. I agree.
They actually.
But why is she getting? So why did they give her so much backlash then?
I think it's because one woman gives women the
Confidence.
it's just a lesser, angrier tone, and the other person is just honest. Like,
no, I've heard like she talks about how to manipulate men into buying you things.
That is true.
Like,
She does
that's-
do that.
That's
She does.
like
She plays those games.
literally says manipulate men into buying you.
Oh,
things.
really?
Yeah, that's.
I don't.
that's
Yeah, she
wrong.
does.
How's that? That's wrong. That's not just delivery.
Listen, it's not for everybody, but if you feel like you can get something out of it that'll improve your life.
Yeah.
then
What do
hey.
they say? Chew the meat and spit out the bones.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So no one is 100% accurate in their delivery. I feel like that's a cult if you agree with every single thing someone says.
Yeah, I don't
Kevin
agree
Samuels,
with everything.
A lot
What's
of
his
stuff he
name?
said made sense.
Dr.
even if
Umar, I
don't
probably agree
the
with
majority.
62% of what Dr.
Yeah,
Umar says.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So
Kevin
it is what it is.
Samuels was a cult, arguably. Wasn't it?
Kevin Samuels was a
He was very inspirational to a lot of young men.
Inspirational.
Oh, now this one is inspirational.
Okay. Well, because I feel like everybody, like people agreed with everything that he said. Like you never, it was just like black and white. There was no like way to like a kind of semi disagree with him for people who followed him. So I was just like, that's kind of weird in a way.
Here's the thing about Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels is like the uncle that you agree with like 60% of what he said, and then other times you're like, you wildin' uncle.
How come y'all don't say that?
But like, why would somebody have to say that? If you follow somebody, it doesn't necessarily mean you agree with all the things that they say. Like, I think the internet has a thing of
That's what I
like
said, yeah.
A black and white.
curating people
Yeah.
to be like, oh, you follow this person, so that means you follow everything that they said. But I follow people that have opposite views because I agree with 30% of what this person says, 30% of what the other person says, and the in between gray lines, I'm like, I have a different view. Like, that's okay to have. But a lot of times the internet makes people into their own echo chambers.
Yeah.
And that's what fucks a lot
That's
of
what-
people
but-
over.
Kevin Samuels was an echo chamber, did become an echo chamber. That's why it kind of became a little bit cultish in a way. But rest in peace to him.
Yeah.
he can't.
The people
defend
that
himself.
agree with them the most are the loudest people that are about it. I feel like a lot of men or just people in general, they agree with the people that they support, but they're not going to be loud about it because they don't want to take on the wholeness of their ideology. So, but the people that for like, we agree with Kevin Samuels, they're the ones that are loud about it like the most. So I think that's why too.
Yeah, that's true.
I think most of the time between Kevin Samuels and what's the other guy, Dr. Umar, is their presentation. You know, you can have facts on your side, but the way you present your facts can hinder, you know, your approach, or can even hinder how people receive it. I think Kevin Samuels was very refined, and the way he delivered his facts is more acceptable. You know, it's not too raw, not too out there in your face. You know,
Kevin Samuels was wrong. What? Kevin Samuels was wrong.
Kevin
The way he
Samuels was
packaged it.
definitely about likability politics and all the other stuff. So he did have a sense of like, he can talk to a conservative crowd. A conservative crowd would be like, I understand exactly what you're saying.
Black conservatives, I think. Yeah.
No, but white
Okay, so he
conservatives
was
love
hard
him
on
too.
guys too. I'll
Yeah,
give him that. He
exactly.
was-
Like, but the ones those clips about him being hard on guys, they don't go viral because
yeah.
Nah,
his
that one where he
That's
called him.
true.
his audience
true.
is like his audience is mostly men, and men are not gonna share a video of him saying
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
hard on men. But he did go hard on men and calling them out for not being responsible.
Right.
Yeah,
like
I
men
did
and
see
adults.
some clips like
But
that. Yeah.
like men
agree
love
with
when he
some
goes
stuff,
off
yeah.
on women and they laugh, and that's what they
Yeah.
want
That's
to share
when
with
that
each
goes
other.
viral.
He told a dude to his face, and this is one of his most viral videos on men. He said, how tall are you? He was like, I'm 5'9". He said, are you fat? He's like, I'm 200 and what's called? So you're fat. do you have a big peen? He was like, I mean, for some women, you don't have one. You know when you have one. That is a prime example of how real Kevin Samuels is. He's just
Yeah, but at
honest
the
and he's
same
not gonna
time, he
bullshit.
was kind of hypocritical because the way that he wasn't married when he passed away, like a lot of the stuff that he was preaching, he kind of wasn't practicing in his own life. But I want to correct the statement about like being fat. He was just basically saying like, make sure that I feel like that's good for yourself. Make sure you keep yourself fit and healthy. And the only thing was his delivery was so harsh and horrible. It wasn't like there's a way that you can deliver a message to where the receiver will be able to stomach it. It was kind of like abusive in the way that he would deliver it.
Yeah, I think he was trying to be like realistic. Like, he would have the girls who were like, oh, I work at McDonald's making $7 an hour, but I need a rich man. Like, and he would try to like, I mean, to me, it came off like humble them in a sense, but really just show them like realistically, this is what you can get so that you can attain a partner. But I do think, it was really the delivery. But I also don't think his intentions were in the right place. It was deeper than the delivery.
I feel like
it was
some
more
money.
Yeah, it was more about entertainment, like
outrage is currency. So he was getting money.
Exactly. He knew that like the men were liked.
He changed his content because he didn't start off with that kind of content. He changed it because he knew that would be more controversial. Or, like, he was
getting a lot of views by berating women and talking down on them. And I don't think that did you help that woman find a husband? Probably not. So you're not even really executing your goals. It's kind of
he was executing goals. So I'm gonna have this conversation with y'all. It's like he even talked about specifically the people who would actually go into his program and realize, wait, Kevin, you don't have the same delivery when you're talking to me about when I buy the program. No, I'm not. I'm literally focused on your individual help. The reason why I do my stuff the way that I do online is to get my message out there. So I always say the same thing for people. It's like, some people need a harsher delivery. Other people don't. But the harsher delivery will go more viral. So that means my message can get out there and more people would buy my stuff and it will help them out even more.
But I think,
as a fat nigga, like, let me be honest with you. Like, I'm not going to listen to a dude talking about losing weight if he's not telling the truth. Like, if he's like,
I think it's a gender thing.
Yeah.
I think when men.
So you want someone to be like, you big back
ass.
Butch back.
No, for real though. But like men are more open to that because it's like it's a wake up call. But women, they're not very open to being called fat. Like,
we're not, and that was the problem.
It's like you can't even tell.
But I don't even think anybody
it's like
would be
body positivity.
Like,
no.
Yes, we would. Like, you gotta be called fat to like get your shit together.
Why do you never hear body positivity when it comes to men?
Yeah, that shit ain't a way. First off, body positivity for men is you soft ass boy.
So you would go to a trainer that calls you a fat ass and like disrespects you, like
if he's a fat dude that's lost weight. And he's gotten on his P's and Q's and he's telling me, look, your fat ass is fat. Like I was fat at this point. Let's get together. I'm going to get your fat ass over here.
See, that's not motivating for women. Like even in Costa Rica, we did like this water repelling activity. It was really hard. And we're like, you got it, sis. I feel like women are more like, you got this, queen.
Oh, no, there is encouragement.
Yeah, imagine if we were like, Christine, what are you doing? If you don't get your get your wide body somewhere. That's why I told you to work out before you can. Like, words now.
Real world, as a dude, like you're not gonna get that reassurance from everybody.
Nobody's gonna be like,
I think it is harder for men.
You would rather your friends be able to tell you the truth so that when the world comes at you, it doesn't affect you at all.
Another thing with Kevin Samuels, I think that was controversial because we're all black. Seeing like another black man kind of talk down or berate a black woman, a lot of people took issue to that because you don't see that in like white spaces.
Yes, you do.
I don't see that. And so when you see a black man online talking down to a black woman, even though he's trying to help or trying to be like a relationship coach, it can come off like, okay, so if you're talking to us like this, what stops anybody else from talking to us, in any kind of way? So I think I don't know. But
that's not fair though. I see that a lot, especially online, where it's like become as a black man, you are not allowed to criticize a black woman. Where it's like people are very sensitive to that. Mm-hmm. But when it's the other way around, it's kind of like encouraged.
Example, please.
Where like constantly black women are putting black men down.
In what
black
context?
men are this. Black men are not doing very well, whatever, in society as good as women. Or there's not enough black men out there. Black men are not there's not eligible men men out there.
But there's truth to
black
that
men are just
statement.
going to.
It's not like I'm sorry to cut you off.
No,
it's not like when I hear those things, I think of it like, okay, black women desiring to be partnered with black men. And there's an actual social thing where black men, a lot of them are locked up. You know what I mean? Yeah. And there's not as many. So when we're saying
but what about when it comes to like there's like a little homophobia that goes into it where they're calling black men, what do they call them? sassy and stuff like that.
Sassy
Like black men nowadays are this and that.
But there's truth to that as well. Because a lot of I'll say a lot of men are sassy. I won't say that.
Or acting sassy.
A lot of men want to be the bad bees in the relationship.
Doing sassy things.
This is my example right here.
Doing sassy
because
things.
back in the day,
anything, any constructive criticism whatsoever about black women.
Constructive criticism.
It's you're attacking black women.
What's constructive criticism? What are we criticizing?
Before you say the constructive criticism thing, your point makes so much sense because the truth of your point is that black women are a victim of capitalism and the system that is designed to hold us all down equally, right? It has caused black men to not be able to achieve as much as they should, right? But they expect us to be as equals to those who don't have the same burden.
But where can you point out any type of like constructive, like encouraging?
It's not constructive.
Like any type of encouraging message for black men.
But that's the whole point of the system is designed to where like you as a black man should understand that like shut the fuck up, be aggressive, be hyper aggressive, and be the most successful that you can be. That's the whole point of the system. I'm not saying that like that's what you should do. I'm just saying that's what the system is designed to tell you.
Can I give an example?
So there is no safe space for black men.
Why don't black men create safe spaces for themselves? Why do women have to be responsible for creating a safe space for black men?
Ooh, that's like that's like no. That's like saying why don't women be careful when they go outside?
Listen, we live in a patriarchal society
and not put themselves in a situation where something bad could happen to them from men.
We have to accommodate to the society that already exists. When I'm born a female, I'm born in a world that's already patriarchal when I come into the world. So I have to make decisions based off of the evilness and wickedness of who? Of what? Man.
Or the system that already exists.
Exactly. So I make decisions based off of that reality. Men are in a unique position in society where they are able to create the world that they want to have.
You guys create.
You know what I mean?
Are black men able to create it? Or are black men the ones that created it? No. Let's be honest.
Like
men are the capacity.
Men are victims of patriarchy as well.
Whatever world you want to have. Okay.
Men are victims of patriarchy as well.
Y'all are, but the thing is, if you're a victim of it, some of us uphold the same systems that we're oppressed by. We're able to uphold the systems that, like, I might be a victim of patriarchy in a sense, but if I go out in the world and I tell women to cover up, or why were you doing this, that, and the third, that's why you got harmed, I'm upholding patriarchy. Does that make sense?
Okay.
But I don't live my life like that.
To that point, though.
Feel that if you're telling men
earning up to the standard, if you're telling men
earning up to the standard of who I would want to date, or earning up to the standard of like for yourself.
If you're telling men that they're exhibiting female energy or they're being sassy, aren't you contributing to the
But like, let's get to the root of what sassiness is. If I'm so
what
like,
do you consider sassy?
If a man, like, in a relationship, like men and women, right? There's a chaser, and then there's a pursuer. I'll say that, and then there's the thing that's being pursued. I feel like what could be considered sassy for me would be, let's say, a man who's wanting me to take on the role of being a pursuer of a man. That is sassy behavior. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
And can I give an example? Because y'all know that balloon popping show? Like the one where it's like pop the balloon or whatever. Yeah. So there was like an episode where there was a guy who came out there and girls like popped the balloon. And they were like, why did you pop the balloon? And the first girl was very, very nice, was like, you know, she said something, I don't remember, but she explained herself very, very like politely. And his response was, "That's cool. I didn't even want you anyways, queen." Yes, the Ninja Turtle. He was like, I didn't even want you anyways, queen. So you don't even worry about it. I feel like that is a sassy response because you guys are always talking about how come we can't reject a girl and not be talked down on. She politely rejected him with respect, and then he returned like very
nasty,
like very sassy. And I think that's the perfect term to use because, like, why are you so against rejection? Yeah. And, so I think a lot of times, like, it just depends on the context because she did not deserve that. Mm-hmm. And the way that he just spoke down on the girls, and then other girls started popping after his response was like, yeah, I don't really like your energy towards that girl. Then he would give more like, you know, more negative,
more
energy, like,
sassy. I'm a bad bitch.
I make 6 figures, so I don't even want
good
to.
on
Like,
you.
but we didn't
It
even
was
say.
disgusting.
Nobody
Can
said
I say
anything.
something? Can I say something that
Yes.
that's a prime example of allowing the media to feed to your worldview. So we were talking about how there was an echo chamber thing. Like the idea that you want a man who is a provider and a protector is based in patriarchy. Like that whole ideal, it is a part of patriarchy. Because the whole point of patriarchy is to have the man be the protector and provider, the one that's on top of the family that can hold it all down.
The chaser.
The chaser.
The chaser, though, but I feel like, let's say, I think there's healthy extents of those things. Like, I think someone showing an appropriate amount of interest in you, it's fine. You know what I mean? Like, that's just someone pursuing interest. You know, and I feel like in some relationships, it doesn't work out if a woman is pursuing a man and the man's kind of nonchalant about it. So when it comes to patriarchy, protect and provide, as for me, I'm not too, I don't want to say traditional, but like protect and provide, it has so much nuance.
Yes, thank you.
So now you have nuances about pursuing the same process.
Now you're saying. Now you're
So for me, I feel like a lot of men, a lot of men put their identity in being a protector and a provider, and but it's like financially. You know what I mean? But I feel like they don't have anything else to give.
Yes.
They don't provide any emotional security, spiritual connect. There's nothing there besides them being financially present. So let's say something happens, because there's ebbs and flows in a relationship, right? Something happens, they can't protect and provide the way they should, or the way they are used to. They're going to have an identity crisis, because that's like, oh, that's my job. I'm the one that's supposed to be. But let's say Vaida's making the money, and they're going to have a problem with that because they're not used to that power. So me personally, I'm not too big on that. I know what it's like to provide for myself, but like I would want a partner, someone that like would cover me in a way so where if something were to happen to me, the kids are good, I'm good. You know what I mean? But I'm also leaving room for the ebbs and flows of a relationship.
So you're saying you would prefer the man's personality that is not the man that's going to pursue you, but the man that is solid in himself.
I ain't never said that.
No, because you just said, and I quote, I want a man that understands that he's more than a protector and a provider. So a lot of men who know that they are that person, normally they know they're the prize and get me at this. But they also know that their woman is the prize.
They hate when you
and
say
that's
that.
going to be a crazy statement to make. But those kind of people who are upstanding and who are a quote unquote modern man, they're not just going to straight pursue you. They're going to be like, let's let this naturally
And that's
progress.
what happens naturally.
Nothing's wrong with that. But I think y'all missed.
But he's not going to pursue
y'all
you.
missed Vaida's point about like being a protector and a provider outside of financially. She touched on
That's what I'm
that
saying.
too. Like, you know, like just like in the example that I gave you, he didn't have to talk to the girl like that. You know, how are you can there's a way that you can take rejection and not disrespect women. And sometimes you are upholding patriarchy when you can't take rejection. It's like you owe them. She was being so polite. There was not a nicer way she could have turned him down. But it's almost seemed like she owed him more. Like,
but I
didn't
like in the video, she did kind of, I'm not gonna lie, she kind of was like, oh, you're something like that. She did kind of like tear at him for like his profession, and I was like, there's nothing wrong with the job he had, but I don't like him leaning on his income was him showing like, this is my thing. Mm-hmm. I got all this money, and it's just like, even if you don't have that, you're still a person worthy of love and affection. Just don't go about it in a nasty, rude way, or else it's not gonna come to you.
Yeah, we all know that those videos are designed to get views, because they're designed to trigger subconscious emotions in everyone.
Yeah.
My thing about it is we don't even consider that dude like a real man, because ain't no real man gonna get rejected and be bitch.
Men, we're told to be not to be sensitive to rejection. I mean, you guys bring up that one situation.
Yeah.
I've seen some crazy shit when a guy goes to approach a woman and the things that they say to them, you know, like just in person, let alone that show with a pop-up balloon.
Yeah.
So I feel like the other way, this is an example of that, where it's the other way, and then women cannot take it. They cannot take like rejection, especially now in such a harsh manner.
I had to run out of a restaurant. Yeah. I had to run out of a restaurant and sneak out that motherfucker, because I knew it wasn't gonna be good.
Yeah.
Wow. Wait, what happened?
Because of
You rejected a woman?
Who paid the bill is a good question.
No. I ain't paid nothing, dog. It was me and the homies. We were out for the club. Shawty followed me into the restroom. I pulled out, made sure that she didn't see me. Hit my homies like, all right, let's roll out.
Oh, okay. So I mean, I can understand that. I mean, maybe there is like women. I mean, I don't know the other side because I'm not like on y'all's end, but maybe there are women who just it is difficult to.
But I don't think we should divide men and women. Like I think a lot of times we're like men and women, but it's really just toxic people and people who are pursuing healing. You know what I mean?
Because we're having these conversations. We're having this conversation, but all of the men on this show, like the men that we always have in the show, are nothing like the examples. Well, not y'all.
From what the comments say, some of us are just like that.
No, you guys are very like. I feel like if y'all got rejected, y'all would take it down y'all would take it really, really well. And if y'all did it, we'd be looking at y'all sideways.
Rejection is a part of the game.
What Emanuel said, I don't think that women handle rejection well. I'll say that. Because we're not used to.
Well, women don't go approach men.
Yeah, well, some do. Oh, okay. I wouldn't recommend it. But some do.
I've gotten DMs, and when I ignored it, I got blocked. Like,
yeah.
Like that.
What?
Oh, not you curving the girlies, Willy.
That's how girls handle it. Like they like even if you didn't reject them directly, they get that.
So
mad.
Imagine direct rejection.
Like a guy, if you don't respond to their DM, they just.
That's why
I get it though. Like, what if she couldn't see you living your best life and be in peace? She had to just block you. I do that sometimes.
Not you agreeing with
no,
guys do that too, though.
Okay, like if I'm not like dealing with someone anymore, I'm just like, let me just let them do them. You know what I mean? So like, they don't see my life. I don't see their life.
They've never talked to you or anything. You just.
But did she cuss you out?
No,
at least she didn't cuss you out.
No,
she's protecting her peace.
But it's not that serious. Like
to you,
for her, it's
to go to like somebody's profile and be like, all right, block. Like it takes a lot of hate.
So you want her to stick around and see you shining, even though you're ignoring her?
No, because like you can end up getting. Here's the thing: a lot of women are blocking their blessings because you can end up becoming friends with this person and then finding somebody that is like them, but it's even a better connection to you because like you were attracted to their specific personality traits and all that stuff, and then you find it in their friend who could be even better, even taller, even have a better smile.
They his friend.
Yeah.
Like, stick around and see what the homies look like.
The hoes, be the hoes.
Yes.
Go look for the hoes.
Thank you, Emanuel, for that word of advice.
That was great motivation. Thank you.
Single. Yeah.
You know, just don't block him.
Don't block.
Stick around.
See what the friends look like.
Personally,
be friends with him.
He
might have a cousin.
Here's the thing. Personally, if you try to holler at me on DMs, if you try to holler at me on DMs,
not daddy, okay,
and I'm not rocking with you,
too far.
That's crazy. If I'm on DM, if I'm on DM, somebody hits me up, and they're like, "Hey, yo, I rock with you." I'm like, "Nah, we could just be chilling." And then I introduce him to my brother. He's a taller, dread-headed version of me. Like improvement.
But you looking at it like you're thinking that he looks better. You don't know what people.
No. It's not even that. It's like you can go for another version. Chris, my boy, light skin, Krispy Kreme, everything in between. Or we can go for 6'7", 6'8", 6'9" cousins. It's just so many options around me that I'm like.
Do you do that though? Like if you don't want someone, you're like, oh, I don't want you, but hold on, I got somebody for you.
I will always spread the love. I'm like, ask my homies. I'm one of the best wingmen in the game.
Emanuel's like that.
Like,
you're rare though.
I will spread
a lot of guys wouldn't do that.
I've been rejected at points. I'm like, we're cool, we friends now, and then everything else is cool now. They're the homie now.
All right, so what should we call this episode? Relationships?
Kevin Samuel. Sprinkle.
And we love you guys, and we'll see you on the next episode of Ladies of Sosa. We love you.
Democracy.